Yeah. No, no. Let's just kind of talk real quickly. Let's give Granite and Conversion Assist a shout out.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, so uh, with us today, we got Michael and Taylor Withrow from what's the name of the company again?
Dude,
So we're
Island
up in
Head.
Hilton Head. We're called Island Head.
Island Head from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Sometimes Greg and I
Do that
forget that.
intro again. Do that intro again. Let's clean it up. And Tristan, edit that all out. Kevin's gonna restart the intro.
What the fuck was wrong with my intro?
You didn't. You have. It has to be congruent. You have to say
Congruent
Michael and
with
Taylor
what?
Withrow at Island Head in Hilton Head. Go.
All right, guys, we got a couple of guys here. They're from South Carolina. They got a multi-passenger, multi-location business. We have just jammed this episode chock full of bullshit. We haven't set it up the way it's supposed to be. We got sponsorships we got to talk about. We got to give these guys fucking intros. But before we get started with Michael, is it Michael or Mike? Which one do you prefer?
Whatever you want.
We got Mike and Taylor Withrow, the Withrow brothers from Island Head Watersports. Is that correct?
No, just Island Head. No water.
Just Island Head.
Just Island Head. No water sports.
Started as Island Head Water Sports, but then lawyers can change your name quick.
Well, I want to get into that story, which I love the sound of it. And I like that I like that it's Island Head. It's Destiny Water Adventures. People are always like, Destiny. I've got a consultant. I pay a lot of money a month, and he always calls it Destiny Water. I'm like, look, dude, I'm not Aquafina here. It's Water Adventures. So I appreciate the pain. But before we get into that, today's episode is brought to you by a couple of our corporate sponsors. It turns out the lights that are on have to be paid by someone. And this week's episode is lights and voice and everything else is brought to you guys by our friends over at Conversion Assist. Conversion Assist is run by our good friend Dustin Miller. He's been a partner on the show for many years. And what he and his company do is they provide solutions for your messaging, your automations, and your CRM, and getting all of your customers' data and messaging in one place, so you don't have to be answering the phone drunk at 9 o'clock at night. You know, your messaging system can come in there. You don't have to send all of your misspelled, horrible messages, grammatically incorrect. Dustin and Conversion Assist take care of that for you, as well as Granite Insurance, huge asset to me personally. Throughout the years, Greg and I have talked a lot about insurance. We've gone through a bunch of crap here in Florida with SB 606 and the regulations, and Granite and Chris Murray have helped us along through that process. Yeah, we are currently in the process, Destiny Water Adventures, of hopefully working with them, as I think it makes all the sense in the world. They're just getting rolled up. They are taking conversations right now, as you have to you have to be a good operator to work with Granite Insurance. So we're super stoked to have them a part of the show and a part of the community. And if you need anything, reach out to either Dustin Miller or Chris Murray, who you can find in our Facebook group.
What about PJ Hennessy?
What
about PJ Hennessy?
We got to figure out this sponsorship shit, dude. There's a way too long of a fucking goddamn intro.
I think that was really good. I can't do that. You can shoot from the hip. I can't.
I can't shoot from the hip. Okay, and with that, now that we got that out of the way, Island Head. God damn, that's kind of weird though. I feel like that's tough. Is it? Do you guys feel like it's tough that you can't? Why can't you call it water sports?
Well, so it started off as Island Head Water Sports. We started off with just a parasail boat and a banana boat. I think that was the original first two offerings. Fast forward a couple years, we kind of get in a pinch with the landlord. Landlord's kind of running a Ponzi scheme. We're paying our commissions via PayPal. Trying to be the good tenants, trying to get the long-term contract at the marina. And at that point, things just kind of start falling apart going into an off season. They're kicking us out. it's just all kind of falling apart. We've already invested into a new business venture, so we're at this point. We kind of thought our water sport days were over. We had the business for sale, and we had a deal lined up to sell it. And when we were looking to sell it, we got an attorney letter saying that we could not advertise as Island Head Water Sports based off of another domain that didn't really fit. I'll leave out the names of those companies and who is doing it. So they were, in essence, trying to hold us up from closing the deal that we had on the table. The person buying it didn't know that was going on in the back, but the deal ended up falling apart altogether. So then we slowly moved into just Island Head, and all we had was a parasail boat at the time. We called up a guy who owned a jet ski operation, and he owned a marina. He had just bought all of our spare engines and spare parts on the pennies on the dollar because we were clearing out our warehouse that we were having to move out of. And we called him up and we said, hey, man, we thought we were selling this. We thought we were getting out of this. Would you entertain having a parasail boat? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Let me call my attorney. I'll draw up a lease. That was on like a Thursday. We had parasailers booked for that Monday, and that's how we kicked off the season. And with
What year was this?
Oh man, this was probably 16-ish.
Yeah, probably 2016.
Somewhere around there. So long story short, we turned into Island Head. But since then, it has been like the cleanest, best thing because we've turned ourselves into what we call ourselves as more of an experience company. And we don't even really feel like the water sports holds true anymore because now we're doing everything from experiences on the water to, short-term rentals in the market and all that. So like the Island Head thing has like really kind of fully evolved. Into like
you guys have a gym, right?
We had a gym. Yeah, man, you guys are hitting us with like all of our failures. So yeah, had a gym, but
start low, build high.
They're gonna be like,
yeah, that was the venture.
Yeah, that's long gone. But yeah, that was we all have like war stories of the beauty of COVID, and we partake in that on the water sports side. It was the best thing that ever happened to us. But signing a lease like 3 months prior to COVID for a build out of a fitness studio is not the best case.
Not ideal.
Yeah, that thing. She crashed and burned nicely.
Yeah, I always have like like a dream of owning a gym, but like I also realize that's a fun way to burn through a lot of money and not really make a ton. Like I got that, like gym, hobby shop is another one I'd like to do, but I also have laundromats make money actually, but you got to have like 50 of them, like anything. But I feel like gyms, like, I think it's a tough fucking business. I mean, it's all tough, right? Water sports is tough for all the things that you guys mentioned. But it, makes money. It's all these infrastructural challenges. When did you guys start? When did you guys open up your business? When was your first?
So our first year in business was 2013 with the parasail boat?
Yeah, 2012, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you guys started to have those challenges in 2016 before COVID is when you guys had some legal problem. Did you move locations?
We did, yeah. So we moved to North End location on Hilton Head with the parasail boat. Nobody parasailed there prior. Everybody was like, what are these guys doing? You can't run a schedule there. And all that to say is over time, we've switched that to the top parasail company on the island running that location. We do 90-minute trips and we've made it work, and it's actually been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. And then what else do you guys do besides parasail on the water sports side?
So at that time, I had a piece of another water sports. I was in essence a subcontractor and had boat rentals, banana boat and water ski charters. And then we moved that parasail, slowly grew it with additional offerings. We added boat rentals to that location. We added kayaks and paddle boards, and then we have an island here called Defusky Island, and you can only get to it by boat. It's very popular for like day trips. People rent golf carts. There's a bar, history, beaches, all that kind of stuff. So we expanded into that with a Seahawk, which is like a 25-foot, 14-passenger boat. And we kind of got into running that, and that grew into an opportunity at another marina where the guy who owns the most popular restaurant over there, he's owned ferries to that island for years and years. He's kind of an iconic staple on the Hilton Head Defusky market. He's done a lot for Defusky, really helped grow that island. But at that point, he was that opened the door to us having a relationship with him, and we soon found out that he was kind of looking to get out of the ferry business, but it was also very important because that's what moved his employees over there. Obviously, he wanted to keep bringing all the day trippers because that's who bought the drinks and ate at the restaurants. That's who rented the golf carts and everything that he had going on. So that slowly evolved in negotiations in 2020, and we opened up out of Broad Creek Marina in 2021. And then with that, that's like what really kind of skyrocketed us to like grow our fleet on Hilton Head. Cause that deal came with like 211 feet of dock space.
Do you guys still do the Hibachi cruise?
Yep.
So we've added the Hibachi there. We do dolphin tours
cool.
there.
Private charters there. And then last year we took over another 100 feet of dock space there, and we purchased a 36-foot sailing catamaran, and then we got a Romer Marine 40-foot boat that's 35 passengers. So we added that to our Broad Creek fleet too.
So you guys do multi-passenger boats, parasail, boat rental still?
Yeah, we still do pontoon rentals. Hilton Head's got pretty competitive with like the boat markets or the boat clubs, and there's a couple people here that are more focused into it that just bring, you know, a lot of structure to that. So that's still part of our business, but not as big as it was back in the day.
That's fun. Sounds like you guys do a few $1 million.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, let's get into the net worth conversation.
No, I mean, I think you got to talk about it like a little bit, right?
Yeah,
because,
you do. Yeah.
You know, because I think it's just like it's the, you know, nobody understands how hard it is to do a few $1 million in this business, dude. Like, you know, you can open up a great restaurant and do a few $1 million, you know, but it's just like, you know, a few $1 million in water sports is like, multiple locations, different offers, different kinds of boats. Like none of this is like, you know, we've got, now don't get me wrong, some markets, some operators, but this is like a lot of luck, very location based, you know what I mean? That you're going to have like, oh, we've got fucking 5 head boats running out of one location. Like, you know what I mean? It just like, unless you own a massive marina, you know what I mean? That's going to be a challenge. And then even then it's like, depending on the marina, depending on the location, these are all different customer archetypes. Like this isn't, you know, ICP, whatever you wanted to call them. Like, you know, just because someone rents a boat doesn't mean they want to go parasailing. That's like 2 wildly different fucking customers. And I don't think people understand that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, just because, and then obviously the logistics of how many parasail boats do you guys have in total?
So right now we're running 1. We have done 2 in the past, kind of saw the COVID pop, tried to capitalize on it. But right now we're kind of more back to reality. So we're doing a 35-foot, 15-passenger.
But background, are either one of you guys parasail guys?
Yeah, so that's how I came up in it. So while I was in college, I got my captain's license. I ran a jet ski operation out of Harbor Town here. And then once I finished school up, that's when I jumped to the parasail boat. I did 2 years mate on that and then learned to parasail and probably was our main captain for 8 years.
Yeah,
that
your
boat.
first
Yeah.
flight was when we opened the business. So you never flew I don't think you ever flew a passenger until
No.
we were in the parasail business.
I remember that first day we had a couple passengers blowing right on the cusp at 20 miles an hour and learned quick.
No, and it's funny, man. Like I'm like I'm such an elitist when it comes to sort of some of this stuff, and that's why I want to, you know, when you fly, you like year round, right? Like I probably 100,000 people I've estimated that I've flown, and you know, like when you're looking out, right, and you're running, especially, is there like other companies there? Do you have other parasail boats that you have to fly
we got
around?
3 boats on the island right now.
So Key West at the time had like 15 that we all flew in one small area, right? So you really get to learn like knowing what everyone's going to do before they're going to do it, right? And you see them on jet skis, you see them on other boats. You can see a few hundred yards out, and you know that like that guy driving that boat is either a renter or a fishing guy. You know what I mean? Because people don't understand that you're tracking everything that's going around you all the time. So like operational awareness for parasail captains is like fucking key, dude. Like it's literally everything. You're like here, there, wind, water, person, like, you know what I mean? I remember driving through one time my fucking boat, and up in my wake pops a head from a guy lobstering who didn't have a diver's down flag, and I was like like what? I'm like 2 more feet, that guy was fucking chum, dude. You know what I mean?
You gotta be thinking, you're thinking 10 steps ahead of everybody else. You see boats leaving this island, you're like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, they're hammered, this one's a rental pontoon. So you're just taking all that in, because we have so many younger captains who, you know, they show some interest, and then I think they work as a mate and see how much goes into it, and they're like, this isn't for me.
100%, man. And that's why, like, back to like earlier, the thing in the conversation, when somebody's just like, oh man, you know, these pontoon boat renter guys are menaces. And I'm like, dude, you're a 6-pack fishing charter captain who fucking fishes 3 months out of the fucking year, dude. Like, you got your shit out of a Cracker Jack box. Like, I fucking take your word as being like an experienced fucking boater as much as I used to take the guys that parasailed 6 months out of the fucking year that would come down from up north and fly in Key West. I had to fucking retrain every single time, because I'm like, dude, you take 6 months off every year, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I eat shit and live, breathe this 7 days a week. Like, all the fuck, I've flown flights where the chute disappeared into the fucking fog, and my mate's like, what's going on up there? I'm like, I think they're still up there. Like, I need 200 feet to bring them back in to see if they're still up there, dude. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, man. Don't tell me about fucking operational awareness, dude. Like, get out of here, man. You think like the 15-minute test is not good enough. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you, dude. No, I respect it. It's almost like there's a person inside me that goes like, you know, like, hey man, before you even start a fucking any kind of water sport business, I feel like you need to have 2 years of be a parasail captain before you fucking know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that's where you cut your teeth in. And I feel like everybody who has done that just has that ultimate respect for it, because they know what goes into it and how tough it is.
Yeah, 100%. And then I think you take that like sort of approach to like just safety and operations, you know, across the board to everything. I think when you have that operational awareness, like not even just like on the water, but you bring it off the water with you too. And then you realize how like important like being like timely is, like getting people checked in and checked out, like all of it. Cause I bring that parasail, like got to get them back in. You got your timer running. And then when you get good, you don't even need a timer. You're running your 8-minute ride or 7-minute ride or 10-minute ride, like just instinctually, you know, all of a sudden your hand goes on the winch, you're bringing them in. And then I think when you bring that to the business side, it's like you end up running like an operational fucking tight ship, because you're just like, you're used to counting seconds and minutes, you know, to make up every single ride. Now you're doing this shit with maintenance, right? Like you're like oil changes and all this stuff. Like you're making sure like, hey man, you know, you're looking at a boat going like, that's probably fucking due, you know what I mean? Like before you even crack a cowling, you know? So I think that's awesome, man. It's great to meet another. Yeah, and there's 2 of you. Are you guys twins?
We are not, but we do get that a lot, which I don't know. It's funny, around
4.5 years apart. So it's kind of, but a lot of people,
Yeah, even around town.
I'm the
people we
oldest.
know-
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's good for
What's it-
him. But people
what's it
still
like
confuse
working-
us around town. They're like, "Man, I saw you out there getting those miles in today running." I was like, "That wasn't Michael, but I'll take credit for that."
That's awesome.
What's it like working with each other? You know, brothers in business. Just
Shit.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say overall it's a blessing. Like it's all we've known. With me being older, I got into it a couple years earlier. And like I said, I had the other operation that was only mine. But like, as we've kind of grown out from that location and expanded, it's pretty cool. Like we own every entity or everything we do equal. I mean, we have other partners in a lot of the other things we do, but we're 50-50 on everything. We think a lot alike in a lot of ways, so it kind of helps. And
a lot of times when I see pictures of y'all, you guys are together. Like,
we're together a lot. Yeah, I mean, we travel in a slower season. Just because we have similar schedules and we do enjoy it. I mean, it's been a blessing. And like Michael said, it's all we know, you know, so we built this thing from the ground up and we're just getting started.
So one of the things that I like about you guys is you're always trying new things. You talked about the gym, you had this Hibachi cruise, you got the new sailboat coming. There's always like new things. You started your own OTA. I think it was Just Book It. I think it was years ago.
We got a letter. We got a letter from Nike. That was pretty cool.
So we're now another name change. We're now Let's Book It, just because they protect Just Do It pretty hard.
Yeah. You and Kevin like followed a very similar, like, you know, Kevin used when you had to leave that minute, but they started their own OTA.
Yeah, I know. We
parasail
talked at some
captains.
point. I didn't realize that this was the same. I can't remember what it was, but we exchanged an email of some sort a few years back, and I can't remember what the text of it was, but we actually had, as soon as you guys said OTA, I was like, oh yeah, you're the OTA in Hilton Head. Like, yeah, I remember these guys.
Yeah, we were ahead of our time for like maybe 12 months, because that's when Fair Harbor was kind of showing how they could connect and like, oh, if you don't offer this, you could sell somebody else's. And we're like, oh my gosh, like screw selling other people's, like let's just sell everybody's stuff all across the US. And, you know, we thought we struck gold because they were building the websites for us. They were doing all the work. So all we were doing is like, I was flying around, like getting people to sign up. And little did we know that was like the start of the distribution network for Fair Harbor. So we had our run for about maybe 12 months.
Are you still doing that?
The websites are live.
They're live.
It's still books here and there, but as Greg can tell you, like you got to be all in on that.
Those margins are tight. So to compete with the Viators and all that, I mean, you got to raise money and live and breathe it.
I found that out pretty quick. I didn't even, you know, I have a tendency of like mentally like going down some of these rabbit holes, but just as I feel like as I matured as a business owner, you know, it's like I am not as optimistic as Greg is, you know, and I'm like, jury's out. We make a good team. Because I got to rein him back in because I'm like, you know, Greg, I mean, I'm sure I could probably have a multi-million-dollar fucking lemonade stand according to you. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know, I'm just like, if everything's great, nothing's great, you know? And so I tend to be like a little bit more, you know, like take my boat test. Great fucking business. You know what I mean? Yeah. I fucking love it. But, you know, same thing. It's like, and that's why anytime someone's like fucking like Greg's like, oh, competition. I'm like, dude, yeah, for sure, man. You know, just, you know, do a podcast for fucking 4 or 5 years, establish a super great relationship with one boat law administrator that loves me because of my history as a captain. So take it back and you know what I mean? Be a parasail captain for 15 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like TMBT is like, looks like a great business model, you know, but like all the background on that like got to where we are today. And then like, yeah, like form a bunch of friendships with all of your clients before they're ever a client, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, now you're cooking with gas. But even there, it's just like, you know, like I found out really fast that it's just like, you know, trying like back to the initial conversation, like boat law administrators, you know, like we've got to have government contracts. I've got to have a contract with every single one of these states to get through. And it turns out that they fucking hate it. They hate every part of it. They even hate the online boater safety test. They're just like, dude, this is more work for me. You know, like, I get nothing in this other than it's going to be a pain in my ass. And I think it's like a lot of these things, like you don't know until you know, right? And like, it seems like you guys love new ideas. Like, I feel like
the four of us are so much alike. We all probably have stories of stupid businesses we started that we lost a lot of money on. I can tell you about 5 of them, but I think that's about the entrepreneur journey. Like you have to try a bunch of stuff. You have to kind of learn, and then you get educated. I mean, I started a magic show. I started, you know, fucking NFTs. I can tell you all the bad decisions I've made.
Oh yeah. I mean, no one gets to the other side 100%. You just got to win more than you lose. And just having the willingness to try stuff, that's half the battle. Most people talk, never take action. So if you take action on those and you win a little more than you lose, you'll be happy you did it.
I often say, man, I tell my wife, you know, as I'm a few years older than all you boys, but I told her I feel like I could feel 100 years and not get to like 25% of all the things I want to do in this life. I couldn't, you know, see all the places that I want to see. Like my brain is just constantly just like go, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this seems great. This seems fun. Like this seems cool. Like, you know, and luckily, I mean, I feel like I've been fortunate enough to do enough like in my life, in my 47 years to have been like, man, this has been a pretty fucking awesome ride, but I really hope AI can solve for getting us to live to like 150, man. But like, not like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I think like the older, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm really just I'm kind of done with the trial and error. Like I think the 30s is great for like making mistakes, trying new things, failing. And I think that's part of journey of being an entrepreneur. But like now that I'm in my 40s, I'm like, okay, I have to dial it down because I only have a couple more retries until I'm in my 60s, and I don't want to fuck around anymore with startups and crazy ideas. I want to get that out of my way early so that way I can hone in on 2 or 3 things. And but I'm happy. Everything I did, there's good stories to tell. You know,
yeah, but I think though, I think that when you have enough, like, I think when you have enough points on the board and you have a little bit more money to fuck around with, I think that like you can go into startup mode, but it's just not as like do or die. Like it's not like, oh my God, it's like either the mortgage or this idea. Right. And I think that like when it all hinges on money, like you see a lot of guys obviously in their 50s and 60s investing and putting money into shit. And maybe they're not the boots on the ground guy, or they're, you know, just investing in it. But I don't know, man, I got to push back on that a little. Being the old guy in this conversation is 47, who still has got a lot of startup ideas in me. I don't know. I'm down to be the Colonel Sanders of the group, you know?
Yeah, you're just playing a different position. You know, you could be that investor, find that young, hungry guy that may not have that opportunity, and you could be the funding to that, you know? So you're just playing a different position in it.
100%.
Yeah, and you kind of only get that, like Kevin just said, like you only get that like do or die opportunity maybe once or twice in your life. And it's like those are the war stories you'll talk about. Like when we first started the parasail business, like, you know, we maxed out everything to like buy it. And then it's like, okay, we have $0, but like we didn't understand like a marketing budget or anything like this. So it's like we were out hustling, like working on Keith's dinner cruise, like washing dishes at night. And Taylor was like serve at one of the seafood restaurants, and like whatever cash came home would go in the account to make sure that the next boat payment was made. So it's like, yeah, it's, I don't think that I'm done either and like trying new things, but it's like to get that like back against the wall, all in, like do or die is like, yeah, you may only get that like 1 or 2 times in your life, but
I'm good on those.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm all set with that fucking feeling for sure, dude.
Yeah,
Tell me about this Hibachi cruise. How long have you guys had this Hibachi cruise going? I want to know more about the Hibachi cruise.
So we've been operating that for 3 years now. So yeah, we partner with a local, I guess, offsite catering company type thing, and we just, yeah, it's kind of like a insanely unique experience, and people love it. We do
Does it
public and
pencil?
private. What's up?
Does it pencil?
What's that mean?
I mean, is it like profitable?
Oh yeah.
It does good.
No, I'm going to tell you a quick story. So you guys put that on Trip Shock a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this ain't going to, like Rachel, she's like, oh, we're going to add this tour. I'm like, that tour's not going to sell. I mean, that's.
I thought you were going to say, like, are you still doing the Hibachi grill? Like my head started to shake. Immediately.
I'm
that's
like,
done, right?
Like,
that failed.
I'm like, I don't know about this cruise, but it sold a few $1,000s. I'm like, I'm wrong, but I like the idea, but I'm like, it was just so outside the box. I just wasn't.
Oh, it sells out all summer long where we're at in early bird specials. And I mean, even just like this Christmas season, which Hilton Head's not like a insane like winter destination, but like local companies, we probably did like 6 or 7 Christmas parties, and yeah, it was
a wild card, and it did well. And that's why you just have to try things. You just got to try. You got to try things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But man, that sold more than I thought it would.
Yeah, it kind of goes.
Wait a minute. Is it like on an open? Is it on an open deck boat?
Yep.
Yeah.
In South Carolina, in Christmas time, people are outside on a boat eating
I think
hibachi?
our Christmas day this year was 72. So obviously weather dependent, and we do teeter back and forth. But we like this week we're in the 70s.
Yeah,
it will drop next week to the 50s, but we'll get some nice days.
That's crazy, man. We had a we catered. We did our Christmas party here for our employees, and I was concerned about being cold outside, so I'm like the typical, hands off boss that gets involved and fucks shit up. You know what I mean? Like, I think this, and then they're just like, God damn it, why couldn't we just done it the way we wanted to instead of? So I got involved in it, like my wife, and then our like my assistant was fucking sort of planning it. And then I got involved because I was like, sitting outside doing hibachi. I'm like, it could get real cold. It's going to be horrible, And so I'm like, we'll do it indoors. So I had the hibachi chef with his fucking, like, whatever it is, the flat, whatever. I own one. I can't even remember the name
Blackstone.
of it. The Blackstone, that's it. Yeah. In my foyer, dude. And it's not like a big fucking foyer, man. And he's got like 40 pounds of rice on this fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. And yeah, there was like the way they're like, at first I thought it was just like a guy, like just him doing it, like Bill's Hibachi, but it turned out that it was just like it was like a service, like, and I don't know if she was like an OTA. I wasn't involved in it enough to know like how the mechanics of it really worked, but it seems she's got like 6-7 hibachi chefs just like fucking going to different places doing whatever, and it was like fucking $2,000-$3,000 or something like that for 40 of us. I was like, that's a fucking interesting business.
There's a mobile hibachi guy in Destin, and he's super busy. I tried to hire him around the holidays, and he was booked up for 2 weeks.
This wasn't a he. This was a they. So what was the name of the company? Do you remember?
In Destin?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a Destin Mobile Hibachi. I don't know the company name.
Yeah, they had a bunch of them. I don't know.
Yeah, there is a national company I've seen where essentially it's probably like an OTA where they just find the work and they have a pipeline of cooks around the country and do the catering events.
I love it to come to the house and do it, man. Good idea.
Who'd have thought? You know what I mean? There's just like some guy you don't even know 4 houses down, and he's going out to his fucking car to get ready for work, you know, and he's a fucking hibachi chef. I thought there'd be like 2 of them fucking nationwide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember my birthday a few years back. Kevin's like, "What are you doing for your birthday?" I'm like, "I'm just staying home. I'm not doing anything." You came to my house, picked me up, and took me to Hibachi Osaka's, and we had a really good time. That was the most fun I've had in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we used to get bombed in Key West and take over Benihana's, and I got pictures of like one of my mates standing on the fucking grill, dude. But we knew the manager real well, and we would get fucked up and be like, "You guys do Benihana?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." We make reservations for 9 o'clock and go in there 20 deep and just clear the whole fucking place out. Like they knew better. If they set us with, you know, Marge and her fucking grandkids and her husband visiting Key West, there were 6 of us and them 4. They were fucking like, "Hey man, let's pick it up or get us to another table. These guys are fucking ludicrous." I'd bombing sake glasses against the wall if they gave us the private room. It was fucking mayhem, dude. I probably had more hibachi in my life than any one fucking person alive, man.
I love hibachi.
That's great.
I'd go every week if I could.
So each one of you guys, we'll start with you, Mike. So what's your favorite water sport? And it's allowed to be, it doesn't have to be like, "Oh, I like it because it's fun." It can be the one that pencils the best. Like, what's your favorite thing where you're like, if I had, you know, I would just do this over and over again and get rid of everything else?
As in, like, business wise?
Either one. You choose that you love or money.
I mean, if I love to just go do something, I'm getting out of Hilton Head and going to a lake and water skiing. But business wise, the thing that's really changed our business with our place being a little bit more seasonal is the ferry, just because it kind of checks all the boxes. It doesn't have to be family friendly. So we're operating that thing every day outside of like Christmas and Christmas Eve. And outside of like January and a couple slow times, I mean, we have passengers on that every day. So we all know this from being in the business. Like when you're operating like a seasonal business that kind of just stops when it comes to cash flow, that's tough. So adding that to our business has been huge because it's allowed us also to retain better staff. It keeps our staff making money year round, and just kind of keeps like the momentum of our business kind of like rolling. Where, you know, back in the day, if you're just like a pure water sports company in Hilton Head, it's like October 15th or November 15th, like you're putting your boat in a storage unit and like you're washing your hands and you come back in March. So that's been a game changer for us when it comes to business.
That's awesome. And Taylor, what about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, that is the core of the business right now. So I'll kind of add to that a little bit on a new addition with that sailboat. So we picked this up. We've had our eyes on it for 4 or 5 years. It was built on Hilton Head. We actually went up while it was being built and would help at times. We knew the builder, Pat, who is a very talented captain on the island. And this thing came up for sale last year, and we're like, "Dude, we got to get this thing." Beautiful custom boat, 24 passenger. We got it rolling, June of last year. So this 2026 will be our first year with it. So I'd say getting out on that thing is exceptional. Beautiful boat. We'll do day sails, catch that at sunset. It's tough to beat. But as far as if I'm going out there for fun, I'd want to get out, you know, with some friends, water ski, wakeboard, wake surf, anything like that on a lake, preferably. That's kind of what we grew up on. So,
do you guys like boating? Do both of you guys like as a hobby?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, like when you like live somewhere, and I'm sure you guys can like attest to this. Like, I never go to the beach on Hilton Head and just like post up, but like, if I'm traveling, like that's enticing. Like boating on Hilton Head, like, you know, we still jump in and run some of the charters here and there. And then like, you know, you have friends and family that come visit. So it's always fun to jump on the water, take them out, go to dinner, do stuff like that. But it's funny how it like moves out of your like system where you're like, "Oh man, I'm just going to go jump on one of our boats and go for a cruise."
Yeah.
And like when you do it with like your friends and family in town, you're like, "Man, this place is like this place is beautiful, man. Why don't we?
Yeah,
do this
no,
more
I've
often?"
experienced the same thing.
Yeah, you just view it as
But
work.
then, like,
so
when
you
we're traveling, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, you kind of get geared to that. Like, man, I want to get on the water. I want to go, you know, I want to rent a boat and explore and stuff. So
yeah,
it's
love
kind
to
of
do
funny
it for
how
fun,
your
but
mind works.
yeah, you kind of need that separation a little bit from where you live, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I just like I oftentimes I'll say I'm like I don't like boats, man. I'm not a, you know what I mean? Like I'm at all. Like, you know what I mean? No, like I'm
You've done
straight.
enough time on it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Like I ran two.
People don't understand that you're like, you know, elbow deep in an engine, or like that's like our staff, like back in the day, would always be like, let me take the boat out. Can we take the boat out for free? And it's like, no, man, because every time that engine starts, like you're one day closer to that thing like having a major breakdown.
Oh yeah, and we're out of business. And then like when I was running parasail 7 days a week, everyone's coming to visit in July. Like, hey man, let's like go out on a sunset cruise or come to the beach. It's like, dude, I'm putting 12-hour days in. When I'm off, I'm going straight to that AC, getting some food and going to sleep.
100%, dude. I ran two. I think I ran two charters after parasailing, Crab Island charters, where I just took people on a pontoon boat to drink, and I was like, fucking never again, dude. I'm like, you could fucking never again, dude. This is straight up awful, man. I don't know how anybody does this, dude. This is not fun at all. But
the best part of running parasail is anything else, in my opinion, like running a charter boat, it's just like a cakewalk. You're like, dude, this is cake. Like doing a dolphin tour, it's like a vacation being the captain. After doing the parasail, it's just simple.
And it's just, but there's not enough action in it. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I need to fucking, I don't feel like my butthole clenching, you know what I mean? I'm not like, this is just like, you know what I mean? Shoots up, shoots down, weather rolling in. They're like, oh, you know, gotta get them done. Fucking selling photo packages, like all that shit, you know? It's just like, it was so action packed, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like there's almost like a part of me that's like, feels like that was so fun. Like me and my partner were talking the other night about it. I'm like, remember getting off the boat and having like those first two beers was like the best fucking thing in the world ever, dude. Like those. Now look, the 7th and 8th and 9th beer and the 5-6 shots that came after that, no bueno. But those first two beers were, and counting the money and the tips, like the fucking greatest feeling ever, man. And I just like, I feel like that was so much fucking fun. It really was in that feeling, you know, and even at the time, you know, you're like, God, I'm so sick of parasailing, but you always got that feeling afterward when it was all done. Everybody was home safe. You made a bunch of tip money, sold photos. Like it was really great. And it's just like, for me, like going out on a boat, like, I don't think anything ever matches that sort of like boating experience for me. There was so much just like adrenaline and dopamine, just like flooding your system. The last time I had a good time on a boat, same thing, dude. We took a boat. We were at like Bear Lake Reserve in North Carolina, and it was out in the mountains, and it was some shitty pontoon boat. And we took the kids out there, and it was Christmas, and it was cold, but it was great, man. I had a good time. You know, I'm the same way. I'm like, I would go out. I don't know if my knees handle water skiing anymore, but you know, just cruising on a lake, like 100%. You know, I'm in. I go by a pool.
Well, guys, we appreciate you coming on the show. We have to run to our next recording, but
shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could go another half hour, man. This is the conversation is getting real good. It's always happens that way. But how can people get a hold of you guys if they have any questions or want to just ask you anything about business?
Yeah, I'm active on social media, Taylor Withrow, and then our brands are Island Head on Hilton Head, Tybee Island Watersports on Tybee, Salt Marsh Sailing on Hilton Head as well, and then Island Head Sailing on Hilton Head as well.
Great. Well,
awesome,
we appreciate you guys coming on, and hopefully we'll bring you back on the show. And as always, guys, keep it awkward.
Awesome. Appreciate